Oh, yeah, here we go again. Hello, and welcome into Ray on Sports. I am your host, Johnny Ray. In this podcast, we talk all things sports from my own opinion. You may agree or you may disagree, but all I do is ask that you listen. So come on in, buckle up, and let's take this ride. All right, here we go. Welcome in once again to Ray on Sports. This is your host, Johnny Ray. I'm here coming to you live from the KJ Ray Studios in Lancaster, California. And this week's episode, we're going to talk some NFL. Wow, my phone has been blowing up all day. Blowing up. Did I say blowing up? Blowing up all day. Because today is the day that NFL free agency starts. So my phone has been going off the hook. There have been a lot of trades. There's been a lot of signings. There's been a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to try to go through every team everything's going on in, but I just want to get to some of them, not all of them, because some of them are, drastic trades. Some of them are just minor trades. Some of them are upgrades. Some of them are just, fill in pieces. But there are some that blew me away. First of all, I want to give a shout out to my nephew who's listening to me right now. He said he would be listening. He used to play college football for San Diego State. He's no longer playing, but one of his best friend is Jalen Naylor, almost like a brother to him. And I just heard the rumor today that he got signed by the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, Jalen Naylor signed by the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Jalen Naylor started off in Minnesota, and now he's moving over to the Raiders. And Jalen, if you're listening, anytime you want to come on Ray on Sports, I got your back. You want to talk about your contract? You want to talk about what you're going to be in Las Vegas? Come on the show. Let me know. I'm here for you. I'm here to listen. I'm here to talk. That's what I'm here for. So anytime you want to talk about it, come on in. I invite anybody in sports, any player, any coach, any teammates, any former teammates. Come on the show. Come on Ray on Sports, and we'll talk about it. We'll have a good time talking about it. So that was one of the biggest, to me, one of the biggest signings today. There's a couple more going on. There was one and I'm trying to get my notes together. I'm looking at my notes. I'll try to be, good with this. Well, how are you guys doing today? First of all, how you guys doing? Thank you guys for listening to Ray on Sports. I appreciate, all the downloads. I appreciate all the listens. I appreciate everybody chiming in. I put my clips on TikTok, on my TikTok page, as well as I put them on my Facebook page and all the other pages, and I get responses. And I did get a response from one of my comments that I had last episode talking about the NBA players, and I appreciate the feedback I got from it. I made a point. I'm not saying my point is the best point. I'm not saying my opinion is the best opinion. I just give you my opinion, and I appreciate the feedback I got from that. I actually got someone who actually, had a pretty much long, comment on something I said. But hey, I love it. Anytime you want to comment on my podcast, please do. You can hit me at rayonsports0905@gmail.com. That's rayonsports0905@gmail.com. And I'm here for you. One of the other big signings that I saw that happened was cornerback Trent McDuffie. He was acquired in a trade from the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for the 2026 first-round pick, number 29, and a fifth-round pick and a sixth-round pick, as well as a 2027 third-round pick. And he agreed to a 4-year, $124 million contract extension with the Los Angeles Rams. That was parted by Ian Rappaport from NFL. That was a big get. He's the cornerback from the Chiefs, and now for the Rams, that's a good pickup because I think last year the defense wasn't as well, so he would be a great fit for them. And I like that pick. For my San Francisco 49ers, like I said, I'm going through these trades and so many going on. There's so many. Like I said, every 5 minutes, my phone is blowing up from Ian Rappaport's saying something to God. What's the other guy now? Oh, see, I'm looking at him now. There's a lot of trades going on right now, and I'm just like going, bam, my phone's going boom, 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 bzz, bzz, bzz. You know how it does. Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter is got things going on. Got trade updates. Just got one. Former Chiefs QB Gardner Minshew the third reached agreement on a 1 year, $8 million deal with the Arizona Cardinals. So there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of people getting traded back and forth. One of the other biggest trades was the Raiders traded. Oh my God, I had the guy's name on the tip of my tongue and I forgot it just that quick. But I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna get back to it. I'll find it and I'll get back to it. So, but as far as the trade for the Rams, that's a good trade. Like I said, it bolsters their defense, gives them a cornerback, an experienced cornerback back there to help them out, and they needed that because I believe they're trying to get back to a place where they need to be. Also, another big trade that I heard about: running back Kenneth Walker III signed a 3-year deal worth up to $45 million with $28.7 million guarantee with the Kansas City Chiefs. And if y'all know who Kenneth Walker is. Kenneth Walker is the running back that won the MVP in the Super Bowl last year for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I believe, I don't know if I've ever talked about it on my show, but I've seen a show about it. I think it's on YouTube. It says former MVPs who go to other teams and don't do as well. I'm praying that that's not the same thing with Kenneth Walker. I'm praying that he has a healthy career with the Kansas City Chiefs and they needed help in the running back position. So I'm praying that it works out like that. I wouldn't want nothing bad to happen to him. I wouldn't want nothing horrible to happen, his tenure there. But that was one of the ones that I saw. And I'm like, oh my God. So they did good. They did good. Like I said, Jalen Nader signed a deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, as well as, God, my papers are going all over the place. But I'll find it. I'm going to look at it again. I'm going to go track through it again. Let me look at the NFL tracker right now. So how you guys doing? I had an interesting week. Had a very good week. A lot of things going on in my life. Still taking care of my brother. He's still dealing with his cancer, but God is still good. God is still in the healing business. So I'll give all glory and praise to him for my brother still being here and for me being able to take care of him as he goes through his ordeal. So one of the other ones. So let's just go through the list real quick because I have my paperwork and it's like all jacked up the way it printed out. So I'm not going to even do that. So now the Saints just signed tight end Noah Fant to a 2-year deal. 2-year deal. Noah Fant used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals last year. Now he's playing for the Saints. Tight end Greg Dolch, 1-year deal to Miami for $3.25 million. He came back late in the season, so Miami decided to re-sign him. So he was already signed there. Offensive tackle Trevor Penning re-signed with the Chargers for 1 year, $4.5 million deals. Now the Broncos re-signing. Oh God, wait a minute. Well, yeah, the Broncos are re-signing Alex Singletary on a 2-year deal, while Dre Greenlaw is being released on a 1-year deal after signing a 3-year, $31.5 million $35 million contract according to the NFL Network. The Browns and Singleton are agreed to a 2-year contract worth $15.15 million that includes $11 million signing bonus, according to multiple reports. Chiefs are giving free agent Travis Kelce a 1-year deal because Travis Kelce had just announced that he's going to come back for his 14th NFL season. I believe like the end of last season, he was up in the air. He didn't really say what he's going to do and, if he's going to stay, if he was going to go, or, what he decided. So I guess he made his decision, said he'd come back for another year. So they're willing to give him one more year, $12 million. And when it says they have a max value of $15 million, there's usually some incentives in there that makes it up to $15 million. For those who don't know really much of contracts, there's certain incentives that you can reach, and you'll get that extra $3 million for that contract extension. So that's what they're doing. What the Kansas City Chiefs are doing. The Bills signed cornerback, D. Alford, 3 years, $21 million with a $10.12 million guaranteed. Now, when you sign in, and let me tell you, people, I'm reading off stats But like I said, this show is about my opinion, my personal opinion, and things I know about. Not I know everything about in detail, but I've heard and I've listened and I've watched things and I've heard different shows and watched different networks and NFL Network, ESPN, Fox Sports. I listen to ESPN Radio. I listen to different shows. My boy, shout out to my boys Freddie and Harry. Listen to them religiously when I can. But there are those guaranteed contracts. What that is guaranteed means like if something happens, you're still getting that at least 10 of it. So he signed a $21 million contract. 10.12 is guaranteed, which means if once he signs the contract and the season starts and something happens to him, he gets hurt, any injured or anything like that, and he can't play up to his full potential, he's still guaranteed at $10.12 million. So when you see guaranteed money, that's what it means. That's what it means. It means no matter what, if something happened to me, I'm still getting this, right? A lot of us don't have that guarantee with our jobs. Our job come in and say, you making, I don't know what the minimum wage is right now. I don't want to speculate on it. Maybe 25, 30, 40, $50 an hour. I have no idea. But I'm saying, when you go to the job, don't you want to walk into your job and say, well, can you guarantee me my first year paycheck just in case something happens? Can you just guarantee that for me? And, the rest of the year will work out. But that first year I come in, can you just sign something that says, at least no matter what happens to you, get sick or anything like that, we're going to guarantee to pay you that first year. What if jobs did that? How would you think people would feel? I don't know. I think I would feel kind of, I don't know. How y'all tell me how y'all would think about that. Y'all tell me from a employee or employer perspective. How would it be if a person came to your job and you were a hiree or a hirer and they said, hey, look, check it out. I would love come working here, but I need a guarantee. I need a year guarantee. And it's like, what do you mean a year guarantee? Guarantee me my first year. Guarantee me my first year. Do that. And then we'll go from there and we'll see how it goes. But I plan to be here for a while, but just in case something happens, can I get that first year guarantee? And see what their employer says. But you know what? That's something to think about. That is something to think about. So if you make minimum wage, I'm trying to pull up minimum wage. Minimum wage as of today. I'm trying to see what it is. California minimum wage. Right now it's $16.90 in California. Minimum wage is $16.90 an hour in California right now. So if we do the math, and you guys bear with me, I'm trying to do the math on this and see how much that would be. I done went all the way off track on this, but that's okay. I love it. So $16.90 times 8 hours, that's $135, roughly $135 before taxes a day, times 5 days a week. $676 a week times 4 weeks, $2,704 for a month. $2,704. So you're making $2,704 minimum a month before taxes. Okay, multiply that times 12 months. That's $32,000, roughly $32,000 before taxes. So if you can go into so I would love, that would be lovely to see. I'm sure somebody's gonna listen to this and think about it and do a skit on it or a podcast on it or a short story or a comedy skit on it. And somebody's probably already did one before, and I haven't seen it yet. But wouldn't that be something if you can go into an employee and says, yeah, that first 32,000, can you guarantee that? And then we'll work on the other years, as I grow in the company. As I make more advances in this company, we'll talk about the rest of it. But for the first year, when I sign this document saying I'm the document, I think what they call it, they gave you a letter. I don't know if it's called a letter of intent. They gave you something. I forgot. God, the name slips my throat, my mind right now. But they give you this letter, like a letter for you to acceptance letter. I think that's what they call it, acceptance letter. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can look it up. But they give you acceptance letter and you sign and say, wait a minute, before I sign this, can I get $32,000 guaranteed? Can I get $32,000 guaranteed with my first year? And that's what so I said all that to say that's what NBA NFL players are doing when they say guaranteed money. They're trying to get that money up front. Excuse me, sorry. I had to get my voice back. I had to get that money up front. Oh, that's so good. That's a combination of Sunny D and cranberry juice. Oh my God, that's good for the soul. If you get a chance, get some of that. Get some Sunny D and some cranberry juice. Yeah, it's good for you. So yeah, that's what the guarantee money is. Also, Buffalo Bills, they have officially released cornerback Dante Jackson, safety Taylor Rapp, wide receiver Curtis Samuel. Rapp with a failed physical designation coming off a knee injury. Um, a reminder that I guess a trade that they did can't go through until Wednesday. So they made a trade for another player, but it can't go through till Wednesday. And for Taylor Rapp, in order for him to sign for another team, he has to pass a physical. And right now, he's failed. I guess he's failed his physical, so that might be the reason why they let him go. Oh, see, Adam Schefter's at it again. Shefty's at it again. Raiders are giving former Packers linebacker Quay Walker a 3-year, $40.5 million deal that includes a $28 million guarantee. There it goes again. Guaranteed. The Raiders got money to spend. I don't know if you know that or not. The Raiders got a little money to spend. So here's the Raiders. Let's focus on the Raiders for a minute. The Raiders right now have got a new coach. They're they signed a new coach. See, as I'm saying this, I thought had this stuff under control. I thought I was ready for this, but as it goes, it's going. So the Raiders, which were the soccer league, but they were real bad. So they went out and did some things. They got some money. They end up trading Max Crosby. They're gonna release Geno Smith. And so they got Austin Gentry that's their running back, and they got their top receiver right now is Trey Tucker. But like I said, they just signed Jalen Naylor, and it's Trey Tucker, who's their top receiver last year, caught 57 balls and 5 touchdowns. Smith. Imagine with their first round draft pick, and if you don't know, the Raiders have the number 1 pick, and with that pick, they're going to pick Fernando Mendoza from Indiana, who just won Heisman and the national championship with the Indiana Hoosiers. So that's what the full speculation of it is, that the Raiders are going to go all in on Mendoza. So in order for them to go in on Mendoza, they got to give him some weapons around him. And one of them they got was Jalen Naylor. And I was just talking, like I said, my nephew and Jalen are real close. They're like brothers. They couldn't be any closer. Blood wouldn't make him any closer. And that's how I know him. His nickname was Speedy. His nickname still is Speedy, but that's how I know him. And as soon as I saw the alert about it, I called my nephew and said, "Hey, did you see?" He said, "Yeah, I saw it." And he was explaining to me that there was a couple of places that Jalen had interest in, but he wanted to be on the West Coast. He was thinking about the West Coast now. This is just, from what I've heard, it's not guaranteed that it came directly from Jalen Naylor, but I'm just saying what I've heard is that he had a destination of the West Coast team. So he was narrowing down between the 49ers, the Raiders, and the Cardinals. That was the 3 destinations that he wanted to do, because he wanted to come back to the West Coast, because he's from Palmdale, California. I want to say he's from here, Palmdale, California. I'm in Lancaster. He's in Palmdale. And if you don't know what Lancaster, Palmdale, California is, we're about 2 hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on traffic, outside of LA, north of LA. I'm sorry. Where if you've been to California, if you've been to Magic Mountain in California, keep going north. You'll find Lancaster and Palmdale, because that's how I kind of tell people who's not from here. They're like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "I'm in Palmdale, Lancaster." "Where's Lancaster at?" 2 hours outside of Los Angeles. "Oh, okay, got you." So that kind of makes up for it. I'll tell you a quick story. When I first came to Lancaster, before I moved out here, I was living in LA, and my sister was the first one to move to Palmdale. And when she moved to Palmdale, she asked me to come visit her. I was like, "Okay, I'll come visit." So I got in my car and I drove up here, right? I got halfway here. I got to Santa Clarita. And Santa Clarita is where Magic Mountain is. I got there and I called her. I said, "I'm here." She's like, "No, you're not. You got some more to go." I'm like, "Wait a minute. I'm here." She's like, "No, you got about 45 more minutes to drive." So I kept driving. I'm driving through the mountains. I'm like, "Where is this place at?" It's like on the other side of the mountain. I'm like, "Oh, this is a whole nother." I thought I was in a whole nother century. Thought they went to a time something. But I got out here and I looked around. I'm like, "Oh, this is nice out here." But at the time, I said, "Nah, I don't think I'll move out here." But never know. You never know what God got planned for me. But after that, after maybe I think, oh God, my sister moved out here, and then I moved out maybe 5 years after that, and I've been here ever since. I haven't left. I've been out here for like maybe 25, maybe 25, 26 years. Yeah, 26 years. Because when I moved out here, my daughter was in elementary school, and now she's graduated college and got a career of her own going on right now. So yeah, that was that. So anyway, yeah. So that's what it was for Jalen Nader. That's how and my nephew, I know him. He's like, him and his dad. Me and his dad are like brothers, so I call him my nephew. You know how everybody's uncle and auntie and all the stuff like that. So I'm Uncle Johnny to him, and he used to play. Like I said, my nephew used to play for San Diego State. Look him up. His name is Isaiah Richardson. He used to play for San Diego State, wide receiver, and him and Jalen Naylor were brothers. They're still brothers. They were brothers. They're still brothers. And I remember he called me. I think I called him before this, and I said, "Hey, you think he's gonna stay in Minnesota?" And he's like, "I don't know." And I said, "Yeah, I heard a rumor that he was looking to come to the West Coast." He said, "Yeah, I heard that too." And so then he called him, and so then when the story broke this morning about him getting traded, I called my nephew. And my nephew said, "Yeah, I just talked to him. I just got on the phone with him. He was telling me, yeah." And that's what he said. He was telling him about, all this stuff. So I told my nephew, I said, "Hey, let Jalen know. Anytime he wants to come on the show, I'd love to have him on here because I want to, get his perspective. I want to talk to him. I want to see where his mindset is. I want to see where his head is, how he feel about coming to the Raiders." Now, so for him being in Las Vegas, we're in Palmdale. I'm Lancaster. I'm sorry. And he's in Las Vegas now. And Las Vegas from us is about 5 hour drive. Easy. And for me, that's nothing because me and my four, I'm sorry, not five. I would say 3.5 to 4, depending on traffic, depending on how you drive. If you're doing like 80, yeah, you can get there in like 2. You can get there in 2 from here. But I would not recommend it. But you can do it. And the reason why I know that because me and my wife, we bowl in our bowling leagues. And in our bowling leagues, we drive out there twice a year, for it's called Anytime Fun Time Leagues. And we bowl out there in February and bowl out there in June. So we're in Vegas twice a year. And now we have family and friends that actually live out there in Las Vegas. So sometimes we go out there and visit them as well. But that's where he's going to be at. So it'll be nothing. I'm a diehard Niner fan. I'm a diehard fan, so I don't know, but I probably will try to go to some of the games, and you know, I'll see. I'll see if I can get to the game. But I'm a diehard fan. If they play the Niners, I'm definitely going to be there. But I'll definitely root for my. He's like going to be like my nephew too. I'll definitely root for him too. But like I said, if you ever talk to him, if anybody listens to this podcast and you talk to him, tell him, come on, Ray on Sports. I'm here for him. So that was one of the biggest ones. Now regarding all the other trades that's going on in this thing, 1 second. So me and my wife bowl sometimes in that bowling league. So we have fun doing that. But back to the NFL. Like I said, I'm getting alerts every single minute about every single thing, every 5 seconds. Oh, here's another one. Kenny Pickett. Remember Kenny Pickett? Agreed to a 1-year deal with the Carolina Panthers worth $7.5 million, including $4 million guaranteed. Wow. It's fast and frenzy. It's fast and frenzy as it's going. Fast. And also another notable one, Tua Tagovailoa signed a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. I said Atlanta Hawks. That's basketball. So he signed a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. We'll see how that works because Tua didn't work out in Miami. Remember, he had a concussion, and I don't know if Miami just gave up on him after that. But yeah, he had to move on. So he moved on to Atlanta. And now it's him. And it's also Michael Penix Jr. So you got 2 quarterbacks down in Atlanta, 2 almost like rookie quarterbacks. Tua is probably in his 3rd, 4th year. Penix is going to be in his 2nd year as a starter. They got rid of God, what's his name? I forgot his name. But I'll think of it. But they was paying him all this money, and they got rid of him to sign Tua for 1 year deal. But we'll see how that works out. So, like I said, with the Raiders, The Raiders are gonna have some. They might be okay. I know they. I know the Raiders are gonna pick number one, Fernando Mendoza, and with Jalen Naylor as his. So you got Mendoza as quarterback. You got Austin Gentry as your running back. You got Fernando Mendoza. Yeah, Jalen Naylor as your running back, a wide receiver. You got Austin Gentry as your running back. And now you're gonna have Fernando Mendoza, who I watched in Indiana, and he is who he is. He is an NFL quarterback. He knows how to read things. He know how to read. Looks like he knows how to read defenses. He has the smarts. When you hear it, when you talk to him, when you listen to him talk. I saw some interviews on him, on how he talked, and everybody who interviewed him said the same thing. He's an NFL quarterback. He's a franchise quarterback. And what they mean by franchise quarterback is that he's somebody that can lead a team. That he won't be just a quarterback that just plugging in and he can't really do anything. But yeah, he looks like the kind. He looks like he can walk the walk and talk the talk and walk the walk. But we'll see how that goes because the Raiders are the Raiders. I hate to say it, but the Raiders are the Raiders. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, I think any other big splashing signs for my San Francisco 49ers, we signed. Oh God, my mind just goes blank. I don't understand it. But I know we signed. Oh, Mike Evans. We signed Mike Evans from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a 3-year contract. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're releasing. God, my head is going. But you know the receiver they're releasing, so they don't have any receivers. They actually don't have a number one guy this year. We have their I keep saying we because that's my team. Of course I'm gonna say we, but they have they had a thin receiving core. They have some people they can use, but even with all the injuries and stuff like that, they still ended up 12-5. So Mike Evans in San Francisco is going to bring leadership to the locker room. Yeah, 3 year deal worth $60.4 million, and that's what they're releasing Brandon Ayuk, and Jawan Jennings might be heading somewhere else in free agency. So the Niners need that receiver to give Brock Purdy something to throw to. They also have, they have Demarcus Robinson. They have Ricky Pearsall. That's that draft pick from last year. But because of injuries, he didn't really play to his full potential. There was off field injuries that happened to him. I don't know if you heard the story about him being shot. So he had to deal with that. And then he got back, and then he had a couple of injuries there. And so now he's back. And hopefully with Mike Evans as a leader in that locker room, they'll put them together. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But that's the in NFL so far. The NFL roundup. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. I can't grasp it all in this episode, and I don't want to take up all 35 to 45 minutes talking NFL and 35 to 40 minutes going back and forth with this stuff. But as I get more information, today is the first day, so I'll come back and probably record another episode and give my other take on and look up the grades and how different teams did. That the free agency is still going on, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll know where we're at. Now, real quick, pushing over to the NBA. Jason Tatum came back. Wow, I saw a little bit of that game. He looked like he never left. And Boston is in second place right now in the Eastern Conference. So Jason, and he fit right in. A lot of people came back from that injury that he might not fit in right away, and it might take him a while to fit in. But he jumped right in there. He fit right in there, so he's doing pretty good. They won both games that he's been in. Hasn't been a problem. He looks good. Boston looks good. Detroit doesn't look good. Detroit has been losing. So Boston might be knocking on the door to take him out the front number one spot. But going this week, yeah, because right now Detroit only has like a maybe 2.5 game lead on Boston, and Detroit then lost 4 straight. 4. So I don't know what's going on with Detroit. I don't know if for him. I don't know if they I don't know what it is, but they're on a 4-game losing streak. Losing skid. They lost to the Cavs. They lost to the Spurs, which was, this. I'll say that. Yeah, Spurs are the Spurs. The Spurs are something to be reckoned with. But then they lose to Cavs without Donovan Mitchell, I believe. Then they lose to the Spurs. Then they lost to the Nets when they were up, I believe, 25 game. And then they lost to the Heat, and the Heat's not really that good. And their next game is on tomorrow against the Nets, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, with those two losses, yeah, they got some. They Detroit better put it together quick because Boston is coming, and if Boston gets that top seed, wow, that would be the story everybody be talking about because nobody picked Boston and be right back in the mix of it. Even the top speed because they knew Jason Tatum was done for the year. They lost some of their pieces, but they gained some pieces too. But they still had Jalen Brown. So a lot of people would be where they'd be. They say it was just Jalen Brown and a couple of other people, role players, and different players like that. But they didn't really think that they would stay together like this. They didn't think they would be in second place. But yeah, they're right there. They are right there. And so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let me see if that Peyton Pritchard guy. That dude is crazy. That dude is a sharpshooter. Good lord. And the only reason I know because they played the Lakers and he killed us. Killed us. Did I say killed us? Killed it. But we'll see. And they end up they got Nikola Vucevic, but he's on the injury list right now. But yeah, Boston is right there. They're right there. They're coming for you. So, Indiana, you better watch it. Better watch it. They might be right there with you. Derek White is at guard, Diamonds, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum. Yeah, and all you need is a center that's just gonna hold down the fort. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but that's that. And also for my Lakers, they have my God, oh my God. You know what? I try to talk about my Lakers, but they like drive me crazy at times. They won a game. Wait a minute. So let me get their schedule real quick. I'll tell you what the last 10 what they did. So here they go. So they had lost 3 in a row. They had lost to the Celtics, they lost to the Magic, they lost to the Suns. Then they beat the Warriors, a depleted Warriors. They won. They beat the Pelicans. Not a depleted Pelicans team, but not a very good Pelicans team who was on the rise. Then they ended up losing to the Nuggets, which I think LeBron got hurt in and he went out. But then they turned and the Pacers back to back, and now they have the Timberwolves on the 10th, and then the Nuggets again, and they're slowly creeping up in the standings. So we'll see how it goes. Now, of course, the talk is out there are the Lakers better with just Luka and Reeves on the court instead of LeBron, or are they better with all three of them on the court? In my personal opinion, when you have 3 superstars like that are ball dominant, not really ball dominant, but they need to have the ball in their hands at all times, you have to make it work. And I think JJ Redick is a perfect coach to make it work because he knows the game, he knows the ins and out of it. And when I watch the plays, I can see that one time Luka brings it up, and one time Austin brings it up, one time LeBron brings it up, and they just all run the offense each way, and they see which works better. If what Luka's doing is working, then it's like, let Luka bring it up, let Luka create, because the man on him is not really a good defender, or he sees something out there. Sometimes they make LeBron bring it up, and LeBron, he'll give his little spurts, but LeBron is still 41. Remember that LeBron is still 41. He's still 41. But he's pretty good. And Austin Reeves, that dude would have been an all-star if he wouldn't have got hurt. He was averaging 25 points a game before he got hurt. And then, when he came back, he's slowly getting back up there, but I think he's like maybe at about 15, 16 points a game, but he can get back into the mix of it. So they're down to maybe the last 15 to 20 games of the season. Oh my God, this is going to be a race like none other, especially in the West. The West is tight. The East is tight too, but the West is a little bit tighter. So in the East, right now, the seedings are Detroit, Boston, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Toronto, I'm sorry, the Raptors. I'm sorry, Orlando Magic in the 6th seed. That's the guarantee, the top 6 seeds, because they have to play in. Then you have 7 and 8. You have Miami at 7 and Philly at 8, and Atlanta and Charlotte are 9 and 10. In my opinion, I believe Charlotte and Atlanta games. Miami, I don't know because I really haven't seen them play that much, so I don't know what they're working on. But they are on a 5-game winning streak, so you never know. But Atlanta, something sparked Atlanta since they got that Trae Young transaction where they got rid of Trae Young. They've changed and they've turned the team over to that new superstar, and they're playing better. And they won 6 in a row, and they're slowly creeping up on everybody. And Philly just lost Tyrese Maxey, so Philly doesn't have Tyrese Maxey. They don't have Joel Embiid, and they don't have Paul George. Paul George is on 25-game suspension. Joel Embiid is in and out, and Tyrese Maxey just injured I believe, his wrist or his hand, so he's out for a while. So Atlanta has a good chance if they win. They can have a good chance to lead both of these teams because they're only a game behind the 7th place team, and they're only 2.5 games behind the 6th place team. So they have a great chance to jump. I'm picking Atlanta as my sleeper team that can jump from 9 to 6 when the season's over. Y'all mark that right now on your calendar. Mark that down right now. Atlanta Hawks. You hear me? And this is from my boy Harry Douglas. Mark your calendar right now. Atlanta Hawks will make a big jump, and they will jump from the 9th seed to the 6th seed when the season is over. It has been said right here on Realm Sports. You can book it in your book. You can mark it on your calendar. You can do whatever you want to it. I'm telling you, the Atlanta Hawks are going to jump from the 9th seed to the 6th seed by the end of the season, and they're going to be in the playoffs. That's my guarantee. In the West, I don't have any guarantees in the West. West is wide open, but I do guarantee this in the West. The San Antonio Spurs will jump the OKC Thunder. That's my guarantee. Because I saw San Antonio play. I watched them play last night. I watched their games, and they're hungry. Those dudes are hungry. Those dudes are hungry. You got Wembanyama. He's hungry. You got De'Aaron Fox. Hungry. You got Stephen Castle. Hungry. Kelton Johnson. Hungry. All these dudes, all these are young dudes. Young dudes. They hungry. And they want it. They want it bad. Dylan Harper, Julian Champagne, Devin Vassell. These dudes are hungry. And then you got the veteran Harrison Barnes there, and Kelly Leonard. Those are your veterans right there that's keeping everybody together. Jeremy Sohan, you got him at the veterans team. Luke Cornett, you got those guys there. That's to me, that looks like a championship team to me. I'm not taking away from the OKC Thunder. I think OKC Thunder will give them a run for their money, but San Antonio did beat them twice. Yes, they did. San Antonio did beat them twice. So we'll see. I'm trying to fix this dang on mic. I need to turn it this way. There we go. Okay, there we go. So they did beat them twice, but I'm telling you, San Antonio, force to be reckoned with. As long as they got a healthy Victor Wembanyama, who nobody can stop, and as long as he's in the middle, what are you gonna do? And then you can't stop him on the perimeter because he's shooting threes and he's driving to the basket and he has great footwork. It's gonna be a force to reckon with. Yes, OKC can probably match him, but like I said, in head-to-head matchup, they didn't beat him 3 times. Out of four head-to-head matchups, it's 3-1. And OKC got him the last game, but yeah, San Antonio. That's my pick. That's market right now. Round Sports picking the San Antonio Spurs to come out the West. Yes, I'm a Laker fan. Yes, I believe in my Lakers. But from what I've seen from San Antonio, yes, I believe that it'll either be San Antonio and OKC in the Western Conference Finals, or at the most, if San Antonio gets knocked out, which I highly doubt that they can get knocked out. I don't see another team that can get up there with them. I don't. I really don't. They're on right San Antonio. Before they lost, they had a 10-game winning streak. Then they lost to the Knicks, and then they won another winning streak. Now they're on another winning streak. Then they won against the Sixers, the Pistons, the Clippers, the Clippers, and the Rockets. And now they're playing the Celtics on the tomorrow. We'll see what the Celtics have, because kind of, sort of, right there, San Antonio against Boston could be your NBA final. So book it here, right here on Realm Sports. Once again, hey, But thank you for the time. That's about all I got for tonight, for today. I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Johnny Ray for Ray on Sports. On Spotify. I'm available on Apple Podcasts. I'm available on Buzzsprout. I'm available on all your podcast platforms. And guess what? You can even tell your smart speaker to play Ray on Sports. This is Johnny Ray for Ray on Sports. Until next time, take care and God bless. Ray on Sports is sponsored by nobody. I love a sponsor. Holla at me. Ray on Sports 0905 at gmail.com. That's Ray on Sports 0905 at gmail.com. Hey.